Thank you, Chase. And thank you guys for having me here. Oh, I know people. Hi. Sorry, sometimes I don't realize that I'm going to know somebody. So I'm excited to be here. I just want to tell you, my name is Theodore, and I'm a local photographer. I specialize in event, portrait, brand, and product photography. And so I work with a lot of companies, large and small, and I'm self-taught, which has been a really fun experience over the past 7 years. And I actually also had about a little over 7 years of marketing experience, which I feel like a marketer who happens to know how to use a camera, so I'm pretty into that. I like that's my background. So everything that I'm going to show you today was actually taken with my smartphone, because what I want to present is something that I am helpful with rather than you having to buy a new camera and buy all this gear. I actually want to be able to show you what you're able to do with what you already have, a lot of this stuff being free. And so I hope whether you're at the beginning of your business or sometimes if you're just sitting there and you're like, shoot, I don't have time to hire a photographer, I just need this new pic of this new product that I have while I'm waiting to have my shoot with my photographer, but you just want to get it up because you want to sell it. That's why I'm here, and that's why I want to show you how you can kind of get that stuff done. So, sorry, I didn't show you the About Me. It doesn't really matter. Go to my website. So the tip that shocks everyone, I have to ask, does anyone have an idea of a tip that might shock everyone about using your phone? No? Well, that's good, because I get to help you. So with your phone, if I had brought my professional camera here, you probably wouldn't have come up and been like, let me touch your lens. It looks so cool. I'm going to put my fingers all over it. But that's what we do with our cell phones every day. We touch all parts of our cell phones every single day, right? So this right here, it's what takes your pictures. And if you just do a little wipe off on your shirt or on your skirt or whatever, it will take photos that are a higher quality than you can imagine. And I know that sounds really silly, but this is the thing that I've told people every day for like a year, and their minds are absolutely blown. Specifically with night photos, if you're trying to take photos of something at night that has a bunch of light, this isn't business related, but it's really beautiful. And so anytime that you're able to do that, sorry if you messed up at fireworks last week, but maybe next year, right? So that is the biggest tip, and I recommend doing that before any sort of, any other tip that I give you tonight. So the other thing that I wanted to talk about as we head into this is lighting. So a lot of the photos that I'm going to be sharing with you tonight are actually taken where you can see kind of the backdrop and you're able to see what is right and what is wrong, and you're able to see behind the scenes. So with this right here, I am taking the photo with a window behind it on a piece of white paper. And you can see that it's really hard to see the product and you don't know what it is. It's the nail polish that I have on right now. No, I don't work for Essie. So it looks so bad because the light is behind the product. So when you're able to shoot the product with the light on the side or even sometimes in front of, it looks much better. The other important thing to remember is that clouds are incredible. So many people that I talk to are like, oh my gosh, it's a sunny day. This is going to be perfect for photos. No, it's actually horrible, because if you think of, has everybody seen The Sandlot? Like, raise your hand for a second if you've seen The Sandlot. Okay, thank you. You Sandlot people, you know. Whenever the little boy holds the flashlight underneath his mouth and there's that shine on his face and it makes him look scary, that's what the sun does to you during the day, or to any of the products. So I highly recommend clouds, and in this case, I did have beautiful cloud cover outside, which made it okay from the side, right? So you're seeing, literally, I have it set up on a donut puzzle because I needed to prop it up a little bit, but the lighting looks much better. And then even further, I can show you how to make something at home that makes it look even better. So all you have to do, I gotta put this down because I need 2 hands and Chase didn't give me a lavalier mic. So, I can speak loud enough, right? Yeah. So at home, you need to create a reflector. The reflector, so let's say the light is coming in from this way and your product is right here. you want light to come in from both sides because that's going to make it look really even. You don't have to go to a camera store and buy any sort of reflector. Literally get whatever cardboard you have at home, probably from your Prime box, and some foil. And this is all. Thank you.
There you go.
Thank you. That's helpful. And this is all you have to do. And this will, so like I said, say my face is the light, and this is the product. All you have to do is this, and then the light is evenly coming into the product all at the same time. The other thing that I want to tell you with that is if you use the matte side of the foil, it makes it much prettier because it's a more even tone of light, where if you use the shiny side, it actually gives it more of a light that looks like water, like watery light that's kind of sparkly. So it depends on, if you're going for an artistic style or a really even style. And that's kind of how it helps. So it's a little bit brighter here on this side, because as you can see, I have my foil, literally this piece of foil and cardboard over there to the right, and it's reflecting the light that's coming here from the left. And so that helps even it out. And again, I'm showing the behind the scenes, so you kind of see how simple this is. And then I further wanted to go and see if I could do a white backdrop really easily, and you can simply, and it depends on the size of your product, guys. I realize that you could be having a product that's huge. Apply this as large as you can to whatever product you do have, and if it's too large, find a photographer that does large stuff. But you literally tape a piece of paper up to a wall or books that are stacked or something like that, and whenever you put the item on it, it'll be a really even backdrop. And sometimes you might actually want to do, where did the clicker go? Here we go. You might want to do a color. And so just remember, all these photos are taken with my iPhone. And so the color kind of also helps bring you some branding. So if your branding has color that you feel you need to bring to your product photos on your website or whatever that might be, that can look really pretty too, and be done in the same way by just curving it so that there are no lines in the back. So another thing I want to talk about really quick is the simplicity of the plain white backdrop versus why you might want to style it in other ways. So the plain white backdrop is often what we see on Amazon. If you're shopping on Amazon, all you see are these plain white backgrounds, and the reason for that is so that we can focus directly onto what the product is, and we know what we're buying, and it's very clear. And then if you kind of scroll through them, you might see some other photos of people, whether they're wearing something or holding something or interacting with whatever the product is. Those are totally secondary, and those ones can also be used for social media. Those are, I would more consider lifestyle photos. Some are still product photos if that's the main intention, but sometimes getting the experience, seeing people touching the products or using them is super helpful in getting people to buy them. So I wanted to say that before going forward because that's my marketing self, and I wanted to talk about that prior to going into backgrounds and stuff. So here, I wanted to focus on backdrops. This backdrop is actually a piece of, I'm going to make noise, a piece of marble. That's all that is. And I bought it at Lowe's for like $4. And especially if you have, again, depending on the size of your product, if you have a small product or even a product that's 10 times, 30 times the size of a nail polish bottle, you can really easily buy things to make them look like they're in a totally different space, and you can take the photos next to any window, whether it's in your kitchen or somewhere else. So it just depends on what you're looking for, but it's such a cheap option to look like you've made the time and energy to go into a different space and find different things. And I found that really helpful with shooting some photos for clients of mine that have had products, and they're like, oh my gosh, like this looks like we're in this totally different space, or it looks like we're in this beautiful cafe, and we're just not. So then I wanted to add a little bit of discussion about the lifestyle photography. So this can also be done in multiple ways. This photo is kind of both things coming together. So the simplicity of a backdrop, having the texture, and there are so many different textures, obviously, at Lowe's. You can get wood or marble or stone or whatever. So for this one, you have a little bit of texture on the bottom, you have the product, but then there's lifestyle that's part of it, because we have the items that would go with nail polish, right? It was kind of ugly when I tried to put in the nail polish remover, because I didn't have a pretty bottle, but this makes sense, and it's more of a lifestyle shot because it's what you might see in an ad, for example, or on a website in part of a header if it was a wider image. And so this is just an example of a flat lay, just taking the photo straight down. This is obviously very common. To me, this has more of an Instagram look, and if you use it on your website, that's cool too. But I think that, again, the texture just gives you so many different options with such a small amount of money and space. And then this one. So I wanted to make one that was much more styled and much more super lifestyle-y, and I love to add green to things. I think it's just very nature-y, depending on what the product is, and so I like that. Does anybody have any guess as to what that is? Lettuce? Swiss chard. It is Swiss chard. It is rainbow Swiss chard, and I wanted to give you the background. So I literally have Swiss chard laying over the top of my donut puzzle. It's laying over that, and I have my reflector right here, and that entire shot is set up just like that on my windowsill when it was a cloudy day. And so as you can see, beautiful, taken with an iPhone, portrait mode, amazing. But then, like, what? So that's kind of what I wanted to show you with what you're able to do. I hope that that was helpful. I know that I put a Q&A on here, but we're actually going to do a combined one here after the next presenter. So thank you again for having me. Oh, I forgot. Come on up, come on up. I forgot one thing. The other thing I wanted to tell you, depending on the size of your product, I know that I talked about small products and being able to do this when you're taping it onto a surface. If you have a larger product and still want the opportunity to do that, you can buy one of these. It's so much paper, as you can see, and it's $29 at a local camera shop. So if you have a bigger product, it makes it incredibly easy to do that. That's all. Thanks.